Telcel Night of the Hitmakers 2020. We are here again. It feels like just yesterday we were here presenting the lineup for the Big 50. That was a great success, I think, for everyone, for the island, for Hitmakers, for Carnival itself. But after 50 comes 51. That tells us that the show must go on. I got to say welcome to our partners on the table, Mr. Kendall Duposai, the CEO of Telem Group of Companies, our main partner, and Mr. Alston Lawrence from the FCDF, the president of the Carnival Committee, Carnival Development Foundation. We are here today because we are proud to present the lineup for the 2020 Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. Those who know Extra Tight and what we have been doing over the past 8 years, we have our mantra, proper preparation prevents poor production. So we managed to put a lineup together this year. How would I call it? I call it a retro lineup. You know, every year when you put your lineup together, the first thing people always think on is getting who is the hottest and who is the best. The pretty thing of the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers, the name says it. Our obligation is to make sure place hitmakers on the lineup that's going to keep people rocking all night long. We managed to do that, and very excited. This year we're going to have a band that is coming back on the scene. As a matter of fact, I saw them last year and I got pure goosebumps. I got to big up the SCDF for helping me discover that revamped band by placing them, I think it was on a night of a parade. And when I stepped in the village, I was wondering which band is that. So we are happy and honored to have Tones Band, St. Martin's very own Tones Band, on the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers, formerly known as Rolling Tones, a band that we could definitely say are part of the foundations of Carnival. If we look at the 95 era with the Bad Boys, Rolling Tones, Heart Attack. So we're happy to have Tones Band on the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. This year, I think since 2016 with the dance floor, we have always made it a priority to include some compa or zouk to the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers to make sure that the dance floor continue rocking. Last year we had Kassav, who definitely brought fire to the dance floor. And this year we have compa sensations Harmonique. Harmonique is a compa band that is really large right now, in high demand. Especially the Haitian community and the compa community have been longing to see this band. So Extra Tight is happy to announce that Harmonique compa sensation will be featured on the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. Now we are adding back a hitmaker from Aruba that people have been seem like they can't get enough, and that's why I say the word retro. Extra Tight is a fans-driven organization, and I listen to what the fans want. So we had to, by popular demand, bring back one of our favorites. I call him the Michael Jackson of St. Martin, Claudius Phillips. Claudius Phillips will be back in town again. The few times we had him on the Night of the Hitmakers, the fans always feel like it was not enough, you know. So in continuing our engagement with keeping the dance floor rocking, we have Claudius Phillips back in town for the Telcel Night of the Hitmakers. Now, we are putting a little twist to the Hitmakers this year, where we have a concept called Soca Meets Bouillon. Soca Meets Bouillon, it's a pressure that we bring into Hitmakers this year that I gotta say at this moment, be warned. Be warned, start exercising, because it's gonna be a next level. In 2018, we managed to bring the original Burning Flames back to St. Martin. And this year, we are bringing back the original Burning Flames, Fox, Unku, Onion, Bubai in its original state. and they're going to meet. I'm very proud to announce this. I think our Dominicans in St. Martin definitely will know what I mean when I say this, that I'm proud to announce that for this one time here in St. Martin, we're going to have the original WCK in its original format, you know. I have to big up a gentleman, Mr. Ra himself, for initiating this. And I got to thank the WCK from Cornell to, you know, Smokey, to what's my boy name? I got it in my head, but all the original, those who know, since 2004, WCK pathways, they've been here in different formats. But for Hitmakers, they said St. Martin did so much for them, and they are coming back together as one unit, one night here at the Night of the Hitmakers, the original WCK. Now, the concept that I have basically, if you look at the lineup, if you have Claudius Phillips, it's an original hitmaker from St. Martin that have brewed his music in St. Martin, Burning Flames the same, and WCK. So I think you could expect a retro hitmaker night where you're going to get so much hits that, yeah, you're going to realize when the promotion starts the level of artists that we are bringing. Something that we are adding to the table this year, we are changing up our ticketing system. Those who know events know that you have advance tickets, you have tickets by the door, and since 2013, we introduced the early bird special, which is, you know, one of the hit terms right now. This year, Extra Tight going to be selling its tickets in phases. When I say phases, think on the airline when you book your ticket, you have the K class, the D class, C class. The later you wait, the higher the class, the more the price.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
This entire process started, of course, with the national decree in which parliamentary elections were called for January 9th. And 111 persons have postulated themselves on November 21st, 2019 to vie for one of the 15 spots here in Parliament. Of course, there are only 15 spots. And as a result of the parliamentary elections that took place on January 9th of last, St. Martin has voted and have elected 15 persons, being yourselves here today, with the exceptions of 4 persons that could not be able to make it here today. Now, the results were established Thursday of last by a decree of the Central Voting Bureau On Friday, we have disseminated an email correspondence to the representative of the central voting of the political parties to the Central Voting Bureau, informing them of today's session. We thought it was prudent, as we have always had the public sessions informing the public of the different phases within the entire democratic process, that the public would also see this part of it as well to complete the process. Of course, the completion is actually the day you would actually take the oath before the governor into this parliament here on St. Martin, which is scheduled for February 10th. As Article 104 would actually prescribe, that after the results have been established by the Central Voting Bureau, the chairperson will have to inform you of your election into the House of Parliament. In accordance with Article 133 of the Election Ordinance, it states that in the event a date will fall in the weekend or on a public holiday, that it will then automatically go to the first following business day. Hence the reason that it's today's meeting, that you will be informed of your election into Parliament. You will be receiving a letter informing you that you have been elected into Parliament. Subsequently, in that letter, you will be informed of the fact that you have a period of 5 days in order to inform me that you have received this letter, and also a period of 2 weeks in order, as the date of the letter, which is today's date, to inform us whether or not you will be accepting your seat into the Parliament of St. Martin. I have indicated in the email correspondence on Friday of last that in the event you wish to indicate today that you would accept your seat into Parliament, that letter, that correspondence will be, of course, most likely welcome. Do note that the correspondences that you will be receiving from my persons forms part of your geloofsbrief. You'll be getting it in duplicate, in twofold. At this point in time, we would like to call the registrar, the griffier of the House of Parliament, in order to say a few words, as well as the chairman of the Electoral Council in order to address you as well, Mrs. Guichard-Joubert and Mr. Hofman.
Allow me first to congratulate you on your election as a member of Parliament. I want to be brief. I just want to inform you as to what you can expect from us at the Parliament of St. Martin. Some of you have already received the 2 letters that the chairman of the Central Voting Bureau has indicated, which is, first of all, the notification that you have been elected as a member of Parliament. And for those who came prepared with the acceptance letter, they have also received notice that the Central Voting Bureau is aware and confirms receipt of the acceptance. Those 2, in accordance with Article 105, they form part of your credentials. So those 2 letters have to be submitted to Parliament. Along with that, in accordance with Article 107 of the Election Ordinance, you also have to submit a declaration reporting all public positions that you may hold at this moment. Also, for those of you who are first-time members of Parliament, please also submit a detailed registration of the census. And finally, the 5th one, in accordance with Article 53 of the National Ordinance Registration and Finance Political Parties, and our colleague Mr. Hofman can elucidate that more, you will also have to submit a declaration in accordance with that article, indicating that you have not acted in contravention with the articles in said national ordinance. In accordance with Article 106 of the Election Ordinance, you have 3 weeks to do so, to submit your credentials, and the 3 weeks start as of today, as the letters are dated January 20th. We ask also, especially for the first-time members of Parliament, once you come to Parliament, can be today if you have your documents already with you, but it can be tomorrow, as long as it happens within 3 weeks, that you also fill out a form to let us know what your cell phone number or your telephone number is and your email, because we will be in contact with you probably on numerous occasions leading up to the 10th of February, which is the date that you will be sworn in. All correspondence pertaining to the swearing in on the 10th of February, and also orientation week and all and other pertinent information will be communicated with you by email. So this is very important. So we request, if you're a first-timer, please fill out the form so we can have that information on file.
From the Electoral Council, there are two things that I would like to bring to your attention. One of them is already mentioned by Ms. Joubert. We have in our ordinance on registration and finances political parties. We also have an Article 53, that regards the way we have implemented the content of that ordinance, and it has to be done in a manner that it is very clear to everyone that it is done in a way that there are no differences between the statements that are done. And we will make sure that together with the Secretariat of the Parliament, that will be done in a proper manner and timely. And we will appreciate your cooperation therewith. Another thing is the matter of the donations. You probably will know that the donations have to be registered, the donations that you have received in this period for the parliamentary elections. And this needs to be done within a month after the date of elections, which was the January 9th late. And if you will receive from the Electoral Council in the course of this week, you will receive the documentation, and we will then receive your registration of the donations in a timely manner.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Minister, you mentioned that the amount received so far is 9.2 million. Can you give me a breakup of that, or at least to know how much did the police get into that amount? Thank you.
Minister Irian, you have.
Thank you for your question, MP Biljani. The police were paid via our cash flow, and not via the money from UTS.
Just a point of clarification through you, Mr. Chairman. In the update that the minister gave at the beginning of his presentation, he said it's an update that the ordinance is on its way to the governor. Now, maybe some of us know about that ordinance. The public certainly doesn't know. Could the minister give some more clarity, explain, elucidate which ordinance is going to the governor, etc.?
MP Smith, yes. As you know, it was not initially part of the question. I was giving an update in respect to transparency to MP Westcott. But yes, the amended ordinance, it's right now actually by the governor. We just got an update. It is actually by the governor to be handled and then to be sent on to Parliament.
Why that the monies were sent to Telem instead of the police station, or what was voted for or what was agreed upon, that first it was to go to the police, the law enforcement. Why was the bulk of the money sent to Telem and not where it was designated for? Also, why was Telem made a priority over law enforcement?
Yes, the money was paid to Telem. That was a decision made by the former Minister of Finance and Justice, Minister Perry Halings. I have no idea why he had that as a priority over the justice workers, but it was a decision of the former minister.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the minister through you, if the minister know what the balance of payment should be at this time. Thank you.
MP Samuel, the exact amount is actually confidential, but I have no problem providing that to the members in writing.
Just one quick question. On December 13th, the meeting was hosted here. I can't recall what number meeting that was, public meeting that was, but Minister, yourself, and Minister of Justice, Mr. Duran, came in and answered some questions for us pertaining to the same subject matter. At that time as well, it was made mention that former Minister of Finance had allocated the funds that was designated or earmarked to pay members of the Justice Ministry. And my colleague here, MP Emmanuel, just made mention to that. My question is, though, that at that time, a motion had been passed by members of Parliament, and in that motion, it was mentioned that discussions would be had with Telem for a portion of those funds to be refunded to the government so that payment could be made to members of the Ministry of Justice. My question to you, though, is that still necessary? Is that still being pursued? What is the status with that? How are we going forward with it? I hope my question is clear.
Thank you, MP Richardson. I do recall that question and the motion, but I think we should also remember the importance of paying the police at that point in time. A decision was made to pay out of our treasury and not hold it up anymore, because as you stated, MP Emmanuel also stressed the importance of having the police being paid also, which we were able to do, and we will then be reimbursed with the next tranche to our treasury.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I've represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because hashtag sports matters, hashtag are you in?
had a conversation with Mr. Claret Connor, which this question was posed. And there is a process in place, and then there are procedures that needs to take place, and of course we have to respect those procedures. They are busy working on some houses already. They are, it goes in categories and in groups. They are busy right now doing 40 houses as far as we know. And then after that, the next stage will start according to their own guidelines and other things that they need to select the other group based on. So basically, to answer your question, if yes, they are aware of the situation that it have out there, that houses are still in needs to be repaired, but they have their own in-house procedure that needs also to be followed in order for them. And when there is, when I say a procedure, you have to remember that they have a category that they have to place the different type of houses, because everybody does not fall in the same category. Some people that are on the list, they are placed on a category stating that they are homeowners, and then they are in compliance with the requirement. Those goes in that phase. Then you have another group again that are homeowners, but maybe the owner of the house itself is overseas, so they need to be contacted. So there are different categories that needs to be looked at, and in order for the selection to take place. So they are aware, but basically they are following their in-house rules for them to make the selection of the houses that has to get repaired.